prosaic, let's say quite prosaic information like geographical location of Corfu Island. So look please at the right side of the slide. Here you see the colorful picture, and all these pictures, it belongs to Greece. So we just distinguish different zones by different colors. So please look at the west part of Greece, close to Albania. So you will see the Ionian Sea, and then above the Ionian Sea, the name, you see the blue-purple. The spot is the Corfu Island. The Corfu Island is the part of the Ionian group of the islands because it counts 7 islands, and the Corfu is the biggest one. So probably you pay attention that the major part of the toponyms, the names of the rivers, cities, mountains, all geographical names belongs to, and let's say lead or belongs to ancient mythology. So the name of the Corfu, of the Kerkera Island, is not the exception, because historically Kerkera or Korkera, different pronunciations, it's the name of the ancient nymph, the love of the god of the sea, Poseidon, which, let's say, kidnapped the nymph and left her on the island. And then, because of this a great love, they received some children, and the island was named in honor of the nymph. So the Kerkera is the name of the heroes of the Greek mythology. So if, for example, we recall well-known names of the Greek toponymous, we definitely again return to the ancient mythology. So probably who, let's say, already visited the Corfu Island, you can definitely recall, let's say, with a pleasant memory, so how green the island is. So let's find again on the right slide the second island, which we, for example, can compare the Corfu Island and Crete Island. This, let's say, green crocodile swimming in 4 seas, like, let's say, Libya and Cretan Sea. It's the Crete, which much more close to equator than the Corfu is. So if we compare 2 islands, well-known Crete and probably less known Corfu, but I'm not sure, probably there are a lot of fans and adepts of Corfu Island on our meeting. So we definitely can find a lot of difference. The first difference is that Crete cannot boast by a lot of greenery. So I would say, honestly, that Crete is quite bold or bare island compared with Corfu. Corfu is completely covered by greenery, by, let's say, deciduous and coniferous trees, a lot of pines. So the island is completely covered by the forest. So no one sports without the greenery. So definitely I was quite generous, and I put inside of the webinar, inside of the presentation, a lot of slides feature the greenery and the beauty of the island. So if, for example, you have not visited, you have not seen island, the Corfu before, so for you it will give possibility to, let's say, to make some perception, to make some imagination about the island, how it is. So here on the right side you see the island in zoom, but it's not about the geographical location, it's about the number of resorts, how many resorts Corfu has. So officially it counts 119 resorts. So it's a lot of, let's say, fleece sports which surround the perimeters of the island. So we would like to again to emphasize that west is different to east, north is different to north part, and so on. All these 100, let's say 20 resorts are different between each other and not aligned or close. And if, for example, we characterize the north part of the island, definitely we should find the different colors for the characteristic of the east part on the north part. So definitely you will see a lot of results which cannot be achieved from the land, but can be achieved only from the sea. So it means a lot of caves, a lot of bays, which definitely covered and are hidden by the forest, by the trees. So a lot of, we would say, literally retreats or hideaways for the travelers who definitely would like to find some tranquil and some serenity places for, let's say, for the vacation. So looking at the left side, you see that it's a distance in the kilometers between the airport and between the resort. So the maximum, the longest destination is 44 kilometers from the airport to the northern part of Corfu Island. So it's less than 1 hour by the car or by the shuttle, by the globe transfer. So, and the nearest one is the Canoni. Canoni is definitely close to the airport. Let's say there are a lot of hotels, but I cannot, let's say, allot them to my favorite part because of, let's say, some reason. So let's proceed. So now you can just enjoy and savor the slides which I inputted in the presentation. So it's again about the how different, how stunning the landscape, a rugged coastline, a lot of caves, and everywhere the greenery and the forest. So look again at the slide, and you will, let's say, imagine, you can imagine it yourself, let's say, among this beauty. Yes, again. So everything about the greenery, everything about the nature, about the nature. So regarding the seas and which should wash the island. So comparing to Crete, Corfu has only two seas, the west part and the southern part of the island washed by Ionian Sea, and the east part is washed by Adriatic Sea. But definitely it's mixed up between two seas. It's the very famous picture, Paleo Kastritsa, which definitely, let's say, a lot of you heard before or even visited. So let me give you several, let's say, very brief story about the history of the island. So for me, the first and probably the main landmark in the history of Corfu Island, that it's never never was the part of Ottoman Empire. So Corfu Island was forever, let's say, eternally in the possession until now, let's say, in the possession of the Europeans. So initially it was in the hands of the ancient Greece, then Roman Empire, then Venetian Republic from the end of 14th century until the beginning of 18th century. So more than 400 years in the hands of the Venetian Republic, Ionian Islands themselves. Then the French Republic, and then the French Empire with Bonaparte liberator. Then, let's say, quite long period after the Bonaparte, after France, in the hands and under the influence of the British Kingdom. So, and definitely, probably the British influence was the most readable, let's say, and the relics from this British possession still remains and open and obvious and transparent, so readable in the history, in the culture, in the architecture, in the culture of cuisine, and let's say a lot of shadows and a lot of, let's say, relics in the current and modern life, the current life. Well, so let's probably during, let's say, while I will describe the reason why we should visit Corfu and quite interesting facts from the history, I will, let's say, jungle with the slides and with the photos which I have put inside of the presentation and I prepared to you. So again, returning to let's say to the Napoleon Bonaparte, to Napoleon Liberator. So let me scroll. And so here you see the heart of the old town of Corfu, because the name of island Corfu or Kerkera, and the capital of the island has the same name, Corfu or Kerkera. It's the helicopter view with a part of this old town. So here probably is not so, let's say, visible, but the old part of the capital is surrounded by the Venetian fortress, by the Venetian wall. So the old town, it's the architecture, and let's say it's the allusion, it's the relics and the history of the Venetian period. So when Napoleon Bonaparte came, it was, let's say, the just early 18th century. He publicly burned on the square the Libro d'Oro. It's, let's say, we would translate it like a golden book. What is the golden book means? It means that all Venetian aristocracy or Venetian noble society, which had a lot of privileges, advantages, let's say, lost it. So they were included in Libro d'Oro. So it's the book about of the aristocracy, of the local inhabitants, and so they lost all their privileges. So all of them and all citizens, all inhabitants of the island received the same rules, the same rights. So all of them became aligned. So it's about the, let's say, liberty which Napoleon Bonaparte brought into the island. And then he definitely didn't possess for a long time by the island. The British replaced, and definitely the British left a lot of relics and influenced and changed the history of the island, and definitely improved and refined the normal and routine life. For example, they developed the water supply, they developed the roads, British opened the first opera house, not only in Corfu, in Greece. So the first opera house was established in Corfu. The first university, we would like to say the higher education, was definitely in Greece. I mean, was established in Corfu. The first school of the music was definitely established in Corfu again. So the tennis club, the tennis academy. So everything, let's say, about the British influence was definitely the cricket club. So I can continue what is a great and tremendous influence the British brought to Corfu. So looking at the picture, you can see, for example, that let's say who visited Paris. So definitely we'll find a lot of allusion, a lot of close close features between the Rivoli, street Rivoli in Paris, and the street Liston on the slide. So what you see now, it's not the Rivoli, it's the Liston street, the historical street, which packed with the coffinions, which you definitely can see walking, rambling, wandering among the old streets of Corfu Old Town. So definitely Corfu is well known by Achillean Palace. But Achillean Palace was built, let's say, at the end of the 19th century, later 19th century, for Austrian Empress Sisi, well known like Elizabeth Sisi, who visited Vienna knows how, let's say, the legendary name of Sisi is in Vienna and Austria itself. And for me, it's a little bit exploitation of the name, but it's the commercial side, let's say. So after, let's say, after the tragical suicide of her only one son, Crown Prince Rudolf, so she definitely released herself from some obligations, like impress. So she was not initially fan of this traditional rules, rights, protocol, and so on. And she was definitely was adept, and she received the inspiration for traveling because she, let's say, she felt herself more free, not limited, not restricted. So let's say it's the perception of the life. So after, let's say, the death of the son, she definitely completely left, let's say, the palace and some obligations, and she spent a lot of time in the Corfu Island. It's the palace itself. Now it's a museum, not always open, but for some several days a week, so you can visit it. To the palace belongs a big garden full of statues, and the main statues is Achilles, which was the, let's say, probably the most beloved statue for her, because it was some kind of reimbursement for her, like for some was because you remember that Achilles had this one definitely vulnerable spot on the body. It was the feet, so the statue let's say transfer for us the moment, unfortunately, of the death of the Achilles. So it's quite tragical and full of dramatical emotions. The palace itself, the garden full of the statue, and the story of Austrian Empress itself. So definitely who keeps in the heart the faith in the God, who trusts the God. So for all of us, it's very important place. It's what a very important place for the veneration. So in Corfu Old Town there is a church which keeps the relics of Agios Spiridon. Agios Spiridon lived in the early 4th century Anno Domini, so after the birth of Christ. So the main phenomenon, definitely divine phenomenon, is that the relics keeps the temperature and the biometrical parameters of the living person, so 36,6, and biometrical, even the weight of the living person. So it just, let's say, in the hands of the God, of the God, how it is, how it can be explained. For us, it cannot be explained by the miracle. The miracle lives and happens in our time. So starting from the 4th century until now, and Agios Spiridon relics, and let's say the faith or into Agios Spiridon possibilities gives, let's say, the hope for the healing. So mainly, let's say, Agios Spiridon gives the health and possibility to recovering. If, for example, someone has, let's say, some health, let's say, damages or health lack, something like that. Definitely, Corfu is well known by the marinas. Marinas, one of the biggest marinas in Europe. A lot of yachts come annually in the summer period mainly and stay there. So it's definitely a well-developed marina, which surrounded by numerous restaurant tavernas with different cuisines. So it means that the travelers can enjoy the evening, let's say, or the lunch period by the, let's say, a very delicious cuisine, which tavernas and this infrastructure gives to the travelers by yacht. So especially in June, Corfu conducts and holds a lot of music festivals. So I checked when I was, let's say, preparing this webinar, I checked the calendar of the events starting from the 1st of June until the 10th of June. Different musician festival will be kept in this region. It's jazz music, R&B music, it's blues music, so different. It means, let's say, the yachts sometimes even host let's say, the participants of this music festival. So if you're one of them, so welcome, or maybe you will share this information with your clients. Definitely, it's quite inspiring and quite encouraging information that, let's say, so picturesque, so stunning place with, let's say, very expensive yachts, let's say, very expensive yachts with a different, let's say, yachts and a great cuisine with the, by the way, there are hotels, maybe not so much as, for example, it's demanded and it can be consumed and it can be, let's say, harmonical to host a lot of visitors, but definitely there are hotels which I have included in our presentation. So definitely, if you know some guests which receive, let's say, the pleasant, which definitely will be pleased by, let's say, all this ambience, atmospherical place, combination between hustle and bustle, music, so a lot of people, crowd streets and so on. Definitely, it's a very thankful place for the visiting. So let's produce. So kumquat, the other name, the Chinese orange, which definitely was brought not by the Chinese, but again by the British. You know, it's a kind of the, let's say, business card of the island, because this fruit is, let's say, is at the basement for the producing, for the manufacture of jam, of confiture, even some liqueurs. So probably it's like very, very well-known souvenirs. So being in the island, Spain, the vacation, our guests can spend and take not on the excursion, which will be devoted to island itself, but they can visit the neighboring islands like Paxos and Paxos, for example, Albania, Kefalonia Island. So very soon we will publish, very soon we already received the rates on the excursion, and very soon they will be published on our website. So plus just look after and you will see the information about the rates. So Albania as well. And for sure, so I'm sure that a lot of participants of our meeting in the childhood or teenager period, they pay attention to the books which, let's say, describe the life of the animals and the nature. So very well known British naturalist Gerald Darrell, which spent the childhood and teenager period in Corfu. So we, let's say, can visit the house where the family of Gerald Darrell spent probably 17, if I'm not mistaken, years. So definitely it's from the beginning, I should share with you in this information, the Gerald Darrell personality probably was one of the, I would say, even the trigger, and one of the, let's say, bullet which give the, let's say, the this kick for the development of the tourism in the Corfu Island. So let's scroll further. I will not characterize all resorts. I will, let's say, make it in a parallel, which I give information about the hotels. What else? So usually I'm not the person who makes some measures or makes some distinguishing between the islands, because So probably it's, let's say, quite a rough approach, but since we are being asked by our clients, by the travelers, please explain what is the main difference, for example, between Rhodos, between Corfu, Zakynthos, Zante, and so on, Halkidiki area. So I would share my impression and my knowledge about the island. So Corfu, comparing to Crete, for example, keeps, and it's definitely can be, let's say, felt in the air, in the, let's say, definitely it's like floor which you can catch only being on the island. It's special, aristocratic and noble atmosphere we can let's say you can breathe. So from the first step, just you enter on the island, you immediately, let's say, feel yourself like part of celebrity, like part of aristocracy, because a lot of small, middle, and a big, let's say, a big characteristic of these unique points which Corfu Island has. Crete, for me, it's the most cosmopolitan island, which hosted a lot of influences, for Corfu Island kept and continue to keep very unique face and very unique, let's say, atmosphere until now. So definitely, if you would like to feel, to breathe a little bit different air comparing with the different islands, so you need, and for example, our guests need to visit Corfu Island. For me, it's the, let's say, it's the picture, it's the icon of the aristocracy, island of the noblesse, so which mainly now lost in Europe. So when, for example, we visit now in our presentation the hotels, you will see how many relics, how many even in interior and exterior still live in the hotel's design. So let's proceed. So now we are on the northern part of the island. Corfu Island has two natural lakes. One of them you see in front of you. So Antonioni, let's say, lake, which mixes the water, the salt water and the fresh water. It's well known by the numerous number of the birds, the flora, I mean the flowers. Water lily lake is the second name of this lake, and some animal. So it means, let's say, Agios Spiridon region resort is well known as well, not only endless sandy beach with kilometers of the length, but let's say by the lake. And the hotel which we visit now, Laguna Holiday Resort, it's our guarantees. It's one of our guarantee, our commitment for the season 2026. Let's say measures with this natural lake. So it means, in my perception, it's the hotel for the tranquil, for the, let's say, very hideaway vacation. Northern part of the island cannot be characterized, cannot boast by a very well developed infrastructure. When we, for example, achieve, and when we come to the resorts which definitely are nestled in the middle of the very well developed infrastructure, I always will, let's say, make it the accent for you to be known about this, let's say, about, let's say, very important point, unique selling point. So the northern part of Greece cannot be characterized by structured touristic infrastructure, well-developed infrastructure. Mainly it's for the travelers who would like to spend in the serenity, in some kind of retreat, and Laguna Holiday Resort, one of them. So a lot of greenery. So when I, for example, next time I skip this, let's say, collocation, a lot of greenery. So because it's not necessary, it's by default, it's well known, it's readable, it's even visible that all hotels are surrounded by the greenery, by the forest. So the hotel consists of the main building and a complex of bungalow. Hotel has all-inclusive program. So the main building, which includes reception, the main restaurant, is surrounded, you see, by the Pool River, and as well, hotel has several water slides, mini club, playground, and the menu for the kids. So it's up to our guest what accommodation they would prefer, to stay in the main building or to stay, let's say, in more isolated accommodation, like a bungalows, for example. I would always prefer the bungalow, but let's say it depends on the taste and the preferences. So the distance, the proximity to the sandy beach is approximately 150 meters, and the sunbeds and umbrellas on the beach are against of the payment, so at the extra charge. So but at the same time, hotel provides the shuttle bus to the more, let's say, the very well known local villages like Cassiope, and our guests can, let's say, visit, for example, during the day or in the evening, the local villages. So it's one of our guarantee or commitment hotels, which, let's say, we start our hotel part of presentation. So for me, it's like the family-oriented product with very well, let's say, prepared and interesting the rates policy. And for me, it's very affordable and a combination between value for the money. The next one, the Blue Princess, again, it's a part of our commitment, which, let's say, look at the slide, is nestled in the bay. So look just at this picture and you will see what is a paradise our guest might have. So it's like amphitheatrical style, absolutely, let's say, out of the any touristic infrastructure, but so it means our guests can use the bus station or the taxi or just go on the excursions. It depends on them, on their choice. So surrounded by, again, the forest, the cypress, the coniferous trees, and so on. We have the main building, we have the pebble sandy beach with the extra payment for the sunbeds and umbrellas. We have, let's say, a different typology of the room, starting from the standard double room, standard triple room, superior rooms, which are a little bit bigger than the standard rooms. Then we have a wide range of the family rooms with the family rooms bunk beds, let's say a double store bed with family with separated living room and so on. So definitely for me, it's again oriented for the family vacation or maybe for the families. And hotel provides the all-inclusive meal program. So look, probably I have forgot nothing. The next one, St. George Palace. Again, it's our guarantee hotels, which argues at western part of the island, which has water slides, which has a lot of different buildings. So it depends on the proximity to the beach. So it can be, for example, 50 meters to the beach. It can be 250 proximity distance to the beach. It's a sandy beach with and the kids infrastructure includes water slides, includes mini club, playground, kids menu. And again, if we talk about the family-oriented hotel, we predict a wide range typology of the family rooms. So again, the family open plan with bunk beds, family room with separated living room, and so on. So when, for example, we describe the family-oriented hotels, they have some, let's say, common characteristics, some common points like water slides, mini club, menu, and let's say different types of the family rooms. So let's move on. So Sidari area is against all the previous resorts. It's a well-developed infrastructured resort, Sidari. So, for example, if your guests are looking for a good 4 stars hotel, all-inclusive, among the touristic infrastructure, so you know the answer. It's definitely Sidari area. Sidari area has, let's say, some some very famous site like Canal d'Amour, which has some legend. If, for example, you swim across from one side to the other side with, let's say, your with your cup or with your, let's say, spouse, so it means you will never lose each other. So it means your love will be continued forever. So Amour Holiday Resort, it's a Sidari area. Again, we mean and we talk about the hour guarantee hotels with a different typology of the rooms nestled in the middle of the touristic infrastructure. You see, it's not main building itself, it's some cottage style, so it means it gives us possibility to have some privacy. All-inclusive program with main restaurant a la carte, tavernaki. It's a Greek cuisine with 3 bars like pool bar, main bar, pool bar, main bar, yes, and so the snack bar. Yes, and we now will look at the interior of the Amour Holiday Resort rooms. And definitely all of them have the evening entertainment, a day and evening entertainment. So the next hotel, which is included in our guarantee portfolio, Robola Beach Apart Hotel. Definitely, I always let's say, full of proud when I talk about this hotel as well. Comparing to the previous hotels, it's the half-board policy, meal-type half-board policy. Why, let's say, I'm proud? Because for me, it's a great combination between value for the money for the half-board. It's located on the northern part of the island with a great sandy beach, sunbeds and umbrellas free of charge for the guests. All rooms, it's might be 1-bedroom apartment standard or superior 1-bedroom apartment with 2 isolated rooms. In the living room, we have full equipped kitchen corner with all, let's say, stuff which might be desired, which might be demanded by the guest, even with possibility to cook something. So if our guests spend the vacation with the small kids, it's definitely very useful and helpful. So extremely, let's say, a modern design of exterior and interior of the rooms. A lot of pools. We have mini club, we have playroom, we have kids menu, a lot of outlets, a lot of greenery, a lot of, let's say, lawns where we can put the sunbeds or even to sit. We can have possibility to organize yoga classes, everything in the contemporary style. The last renovation 2023, 2024. So it means for me, it's like the hotel which gives the answer on all questions and all requests. So if you ask if the hotel has, we always have, yes, the hotel has, let's say, such characteristic and such, let's say, stuff which can help to spend, let's say, absolutely unforgettable vacation. So about the next one, Kavos. Kavos, it's a southern part of the island. It's, again, we're talking about the very long sandy beach, and my, let's say, one of the favorite hotel, Ekati Mare Beach Resort. Probably you know the property itself. For me, it's one of the bestseller, together with the previous one, which I already described. Half-board meal plan. Kavos area, well known, like the area for the clubs, for the, let's say, quite tremendous entertainment area for the guests. So who is looking for, let's say, a clubbing? The answer is the Kavos area. But at the same time, Ekati Mare is not in the heart of this Kavos area. It's several hundred meters away. So it means Ekati Mare is in the position of the combination possibility to catch this clubbing if you are looking for that, or let's say to keep in the privacy. So it's a great balance. So Ekati Mare has one, if I'm not mistaken, 111 rooms, something close. It's a boutique hotel with several buildings. All of them are designed in a boho style. You see, it's let's say again, you can see different and very wider topology of the rooms, starting from the superior, premium, sharing pool, private pool, a swim up, blah, 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 and so on. And family rooms, one bedroom apartment, junior suite. So depends on the choice of our guests. What else? So sunbeds and umbrellas on the sandy beach are being provided for the guest free of charge. So again, Robola, please keep in your mind, and Ekati Mare, both of them provide free of charge services on the beach. So the next, so the interior is like that. So for your information, what is the, let's say, the etymology of the Ekati? What means Ekati? For me, it's always quite interesting and quite, let's say, thrilling to know what is the etymology of the name of the hotel. What is, let's say, a trigger? What is the reason why the owner of the hotels choose those names? So Ekati, it's a Greek pronunciation of the ancient Greek goddess, a goddess, Hekate. So it's a goddess of house, hospitality, home, in the meaning of the home. So, and the crossroads, and the same time mysterious knowledge. So you see, this goddess combines, let's say, a lot of, in our perception, a different subject, like hospitality, house on the one hand, on the other hand, the mysterious knows. So Ekati Mare goes in the root of this ancient mythology. For your information, for me, it's quite interesting that, for example, ecology and economy has the same root. Everything comes from eco. We, let's say, use ECO, and ecology pronounced like ecology, so it's the same meaning. Like, for example, knowledge about the war, knowledge about, let's say, economy, let's say, it's like possibility to handle the house. So it's like the meaning of the economy. And by the way, the Ecos hotel chain has the same meaning, the same root. Ecos, eco, it means like, in the meaning of this chain of the hotels, the same meaning, like house, hospitality, home. Just, let's say, for your information. So let's move forward. Ekati Mare, well recommended from my side. I know these hotels, let's say, from this hotel from the scratch, just from the beginning of owning this hotel, from the first day. So for me, it's well recommended. Cook's Club Corfu Resort. Cook's Club Corfu Resort, it's the allotment hotel, which I would recommend for the guests who would like to, indulge and dive herself in this area, which we already passed, like Marina area, Guvia area, because Marina is neighboring with the Guvia area. So if our guests definitely are seeking for very with high service 5-star resort, Cook's Club for the adults only, it's the answer for them. So they will combine a great service, a great cuisine with possibility to spend, let's say, their time and to test Greek and not only Greek cuisines in the local tavernas, which, let's say, surround this pedestrian road, like, let's say, some attributes of this area, and the same time with a boho style, which for me it's some kind of the extra advantage in the perception of the hotel. So Cook's Club, adults only hotel. You know, as soon hotel announce itself that it's the adults only, immediately hotel should to add extra services, especially to pay special attention to, let's say, to outlets, food and beverage. It's immediately should be improved, refined, and pulled on very, very high level. At the same time, to pay attention to the sport, fitness, spa. So because the adults, I mean, the guests who are seeking for and spend their time in the hotels, adults only, they definitely would like to indulge themselves in this, let's say, services which help them to recharge their battery, to give them extra pleasant, let's say, emotions, because if they're looking for the adults only resort, it means they gave a lot of energy and a lot of mental health to their job, or let's say some obstacles which they overcame. So look, it's the spa or gym areas which hidden between the old olive trees with the panoramic view, thanks to, let's say, these glass windows, glass walls. So, and again, I have, let's say, took from the library of Cook's Club these photos which help us to give a perception, to give impression about the quality and about the fantasy of the chefs which work in this Cook's Club and yoga classics. So we approach to the Greek Hotel. So Greek Hotel, which will be appeared very soon in the online platforms, will be available for the sales. So Greek Hotel Costa Botanica. It's I would say a speechless product, but however, I need to find the words and to describe you, let's say, this phenomenon and this unique property. So, Greek Hotel Costa Botanica took more than 350 square meters. So it's a botanical garden, or it's how we can, let's say, describe the hotel. It's like a village. Oh no, it's empire. It's a definitely empire, Romanian empire, I would say. The next slides will help us, let's say, to imagine what it is. So it's definitely the botanic garden, because a lot of greenery, a lot of different buildings, like a cottage style. If we talk about the infrastructure, we can, let's say, continue the list of the points until the end of our webinar. So everything what comes in your mind, whatever what comes in your mind, for example, exists in this Costa Botanica empire. The meal type which hotel provides is a Lakshmi. You know, Lakshmi, it's a Greek hotel version of premium all-inclusive, which works on let's say 24/7 hours with included premium which includes premium beverage, which includes, let's say, concierge services, 24 hours. My God, else? A lot of, let's say, a la carte restaurant, which are not a lot, all of them are included in this premium all-inclusive program. What else? Definitely everything. Hotel has a aqua park. Hotel has mini club, Grecoland. So it's a Grecoland philosophy. You know definitely that Grecoland. It's not only the let's say the place where our kids can spend the time. No, at the same time, it's a philosophy. It's a well organized structure, well throughout thought about, let's say, all details. So they learn flora and fauna of the Mediterranean Sea and Ionian Sea. Let's say astronomy knowledge they receive. They play in some advantage. So they have the cooking classes, everything what, let's say, might come and can develop, let's say, develop the kids, everything are included in this program, the teenager clubs. So not only the painting, so they have the farm where our kids have possibility to grow the some herbs, to grow the vegetable. So everything. So, and about, let's say, yes, and the Costa Botanica has the museum of the local, how to say, of the local life. Yes, where a lot, let's say, some ancient devices which were used during the agricultural work, or let's say shepherds. So everything what was well known and used our previous, let's say, generation are included in this museum. So it's again, for me, it's very helpful, useful, interesting. So a lot of, let's say, some epithets which we can use and can enrich our understanding of the destination. So about the interior, I would say that Grec Hotel is a single one, in my perception, is a single one hotel chain which very, very precisely, inaccurate, in a gentle and respectful way combine the local traditions and the local traditions with let's say a contemporary life which we keep and follow now. It's a great combination between the respect to the history and the same time a wish to support our guests with a modern devices. So look at the slide. I on purpose put it in the side of the presentation. So here you see definitely the colonial style. So again, just recall what I already mentioned, let's say 20, 25 minutes ago, the British Empire. So just recall, let's say, all books, let's say, all the movies you have seen in the period of the British Empire and of the late of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th. So it's a definitely icon of the British colonial style of the interior. So the wood, the lamp, the pictures, the gravures, it's a combination. Just recall, for example, the Rudyard Kipling books. So it's again something about, let's say, the colonial style. But at the same time, look, it's a great combination between the modern contemporary shapes of the sink, let's say, of the walk-in shower, and so, and to be not, let's say, the oldest, but to be, let's say, in avant-garde of modern devices, but at the same time to keep this ambience, atmospherical. Yeah, I would say the atmospherical and the historical notes, I would say like that. For me, it's like a travel and journey in the history. So, and again, the terrace or the balcony. A lot of different room types, like family bungalow, different, let's say, junior suites, the suites with a swim up, and so on and so on. So for me, the Greek Hotel Costa Botanica, it's a life journey in the history. It's empire with possibility to forget about everything, to find everything inside of the property for all ages, for all needs, for all interests, for the family oriented, for the couples, for the single travelers, and definitely there's spa and sport activities. It's all Greek hotels and all 5-star hotels, they include and they respect the, let's say, the interests and all guests. So once I say, for example, I will not return to that, not to waste our time. So it means the pools, a lot of pools, the spa area, gym, tennis courts, mini golf, everything, whatever might come in your mind. So the next one, Greek Hotel Corfu Imperial. So definitely you see the peninsula with the name Comena, which hosted 3 Greek hotels. The first one, let's say, on the most narrow part of this peninsula is Greek Hotel Corfu Imperial. So Greek Hotel already answered and gave me a hint how we need to describe the hotel itself. Definitely it's imperial and it's imperial style. The next one in the middle of the peninsula is the Eve Palace. And let's say the more close, let's say hidden, let's say hidden in the jungle of this tropical, let's say, forest, it's the Daphnila Bay. So let's move on. So Greek Hotel Imperial Palace. For me, it's like the icon of the imperial style. It's this hotel for the guests who would like to feel this special ambience, special atmospheric melody. If our guests have, wish to feel a part of celebrity or feel part of aristocracy. So welcome to the Greek Hotel Corfu Imperial. Hotel has several beaches, 4 sandy beaches, 1 pebble beaches, and several wooden desks, which mainly belongs to palazzo or villas, because hotel has a wide range of the rooms, started from the main building, let's say, with sea view, and ended up with palazzo, for example, a lot of different room types. 12 restaurants, not including the main restaurants. So 12 a la carte restaurants, spa center. You see the, let's say, this gazebo, definitely for sure sunbeds and umbrellas free of charge. Look at the interior. You cannot say that this definitely colonial style. It's some kind of fusion between the colonial style, but for me it's more the classical style, which, let's say, more close to this imperial style. And so not every guest, let's say, would buy for me, let's say, this more, let's say, massive or very, very, let's say, not heavy. Let's heavy, let's say, style, but let's say aristocracy style. And there are services. Let's say, the principle of the meal. Hotel supports half-board dining around. It means that our guests, depends on their wishes, can change and jungle every dinner in a different restaurants. Diner and beverage are not included. So it means they have some cuisine journey, gastronomy journey. So it means that if they stay 1 week it will not be even covered by the all rest a la carte restaurants which hotel proposes to the guest. So they can change their dinner on the lunch, so they can play with these varieties. So Greek Hotel Eve Palace. So Greek Hotel Eve Palace, in my perception, has more democratic approach comparing to Greek Hotel Corfu Imperial. Provides 2 meal types: half board, classical half board, and all inclusive, and has main building and the let's say bungalows, several pools. This main pool with sweet water. Just let's say to return on 1 second to Greek Hotel Corfu Imperial, and to emphasize that the open pool, the main open pool which Greek Hotel Imperial has, it's with sea water, with a heating on April, May, and October month. So Greek Hotel Eve Palace, it's the combination between, pardon, sea and sweet water. So, and again, for me, it's more, let's say, light version of the colonial style, which Greek Hotel, let's say, imposes in their interior. And sandy beach with sunbeds and umbrellas, for sure, free of charge. For me, it's again some colonial style. Yes, it's absolutely transparent colonial style. We have the main building, we have the cottage style. The next one, the Greek Hotel Daphnila Bay. Greek Hotel Daphnila Bay, family-oriented hotels with premium all-inclusive meal type. So look at the helicopter view. It's a main build and bungalow. Bungalow mainly are hidden, let's say, among this, let's say, tropical botanical garden. Even on the beach, you will not observe the umbrellas, because they don't need the trees, let's say, cover and protect the guest, let's say, against all this very, let's say, the straight sun rays by the trees, by the crowds. Well, sandy beach, spa center, Greek hotel, Grecoland for, let's say, Grecoland philosophy for different ages, for, let's say, for the kids, for teenagers, entertainment program, Elixir Thalasot Center. Elixir Thalasot Center, it means that all treatments will be used, the thalassa, the seawater, yes, the thalassa from the Greek language means sea. So the main difference between the spa and Thalasot Center, the Thalasot Center use seawater. So above the a la carte restaurants, which are included in all-inclusive program, the hotel has the wine cellar, and definitely, let's say, it's like completed empire for family-oriented vacation. The next one, Kantokali Bay. Kantokali Bay is the all of them, all hotels which I described now, well known, beloved, let's say, are seeking for. So as soon, let's say, your clients, your, let's say, travelers are, let's say, are getting the idea to spend the vacation in Greece, they definitely should not delay the making of the decision. They should address to you, and if they usually prefer 5-star hotels, they definitely need to think about it now, not tomorrow, but now. So Kantokali Bay, 5-star hotel, which again, like Greek hotel chain, they keep the peninsula itself. They spread the main building and bungalow complex on the peninsula. Again, a lot of greenery, a lot of, because of, let's say, a spacious area, we always can find a lot of caves and a lot of spots for the privacy. And look please on the opposite side. You see marina, the yachting embarkation. It means that our Cantocali Bay very close to Uvia area, and that's why Cantocali Bay is extremely popular among the guests who would like to spend not maybe not all time, but let's say partly time along this well-infrastructured resort Guvia, enjoying the let's say enjoying the vision of the yachts, enjoying let's say the gastronomy area, and so on. Sunbeds and umbrellas definitely free of charge. Here, comparing with Greek hotel, you will not find the imperial style or colonial style. It's a British contemporary style, minimalism, let's say very modest, I would say, and simple shapes. Not let's say simple shapes, I would say, simple forms. What you see now, it's a last tendency to reflect, to make this infinity pool with hidden lamps, what let's say should be like some kind of a reminder about the night sky. So especially it has the more, let's say, effective in the night when we can see that, let's say, lighted on lamps. So a lot of a la carte restaurant above the main restaurant, a la carte. And so look at the interior. It's the main, let's say, we have again, because we're talking about the 5-star hotel, very, let's say, wide range of the typology of the room, starting from the main room, suite, junior suites, bungalow, seafront bungalow, and so on, with, let's say, marina view, garden view, and so on. And definitely very modern devices in the bathroom. So nothing, let's say, quite not old, not ancient. In Corfu Island, the percentage of deluxe 5-star hotels is very high. Maybe it's one of the extra point why we can, let's say, describe Corfu Island like aristocratic or the noblest region comparing with, let's say, the other islands. So I'm not fan of, let's say, this characteristics, let's say, but for me it's so obvious, it's so transparent, so readable, we cannot avoid it. So the next one, the hotel chain Domes. In Corfu, we have 2 domes, Domes Miramare adults only, which are located on the sandy pebble beach. Look again on which meal types hotel provides as breakfast, harbor dine around. You already recalled what means harbor dine around. It means possibility to change dinner of the main restaurant at the a la carte restaurant. So, but beverages are not included. And now look at the style. For me, it's a boutique style. It's mainly the number of rooms are spread not in the main building but among the bungalows and the villas. For me, it's definitely VIP class of the guests. Again, it's not the empire style, it's not the British style. For me, it's feng shui style, where we can use a lot of empty spaces, when we keep as much as possible open surfaces. We use glasses, and we just use a limited number of colors. Look, even now you can count only green, navy blue, for example, like a sky or like a color of the sea. Let's say dazzling white color, which should help us pardon, a lot of correspondence, which should help us to make our perception of the areas, to remove, to delete, let's say, all walls, and to make the perception and the surface as bigger as possible. So here you see in the middle of the lobby the piano with the player. So very, let's say, light classical music is hearing by our ears. The old olive tree which come through the roof, so they respect the honor of the environment. A lot of outlets, and definitely, since we mentioned that Domes Miramar it's for the adults only, it means that immediately Michelin star chefs are invited at the hotel, and we definitely will have some masterpieces, some arts of the gastronomy in the a la carte restaurants. So if you ask me what kind of, let's say, what VIP, if you ask me if, for example, I would recommend for the VIP guest, definitely I would say Greek Hotel Corfu Imperial, Greek Hotel Corfu Doms Miramar, and then Icas de Sia. But we will, let's say, come to Icas de Sia very, very soon. So I put all these photos from the library. Yes, I definitely didn't mention yet that in the next hotel, look, it's the very simple shapes, very, let's say, limited number of the colors which are used in the interior of the hotel. So everything is very simple, but at the same time is not simple at all, believe me. So you need to visit the hotel to feel this, let's say, absolutely unique ambience, to feel this atmosphere. The next hotel, which belongs to the chain of Corfu, Domes of Corfu Seafront. It's, let's say, sandy beach, great, very, let's say, long sandy beach, which, let's say, I would say, imposed and made, let's say, in the boho style, with a different room types, a lot of wood materials like straw, like cotton, wood, straw, and, let's say, natural colors which are used, and which, let's say, the main characteristic of the boho style. A lot of, again, the contemporary style of the bathroom implementation, and a lot of family room, let's say, diversity, a lot of family rooms types. So again, if we talk about the Doms chain, we talk about the very high quality of the cuisine. But since the Doms of Corfu, Dom Corfu is not the hotel which, let's say, title itself like adults only, we can talk about the infrastructure for kids. And for sure, Doms like Greek Hotel, like Icos, they pay a lot of attention to the development for let's say, for the entertainment of the kids. So they provide crèche from 4 months until, let's say, 4 years old, with Montessori system. So they have the club for the kids, they have the teenager club, and the Domes hotel chain, they implemented the same philosophy, be Epicurean. So what it means for the Domes, all Domes hotels, they, let's say, provide and implemented this philosophy. So on daily basis, Domes provide in the lobby some historical journey, and with possibility to test and, let's say, to observe how the traditional Hellenic Greek coffee is being cooked on the, let's say, on the hot sandy, in the special, let's say, device, on the special sport, and so on, with possibility to test it with, let's say, a different additional stuff. And on a weekly basis, they provide, let's say, the historical journey to the production manufacture of the olive trees, because let's say the manufacture, let's say the already like not only for the home needs, but like manufacture, the possibility to produce the olive oil was implemented by the Venetians and the beginning of the at the end of the 14th century. So it's, let's say, it's the story about the let's say about the history of the olive trees production in the Corfu Island, with possibility to test different olive oils with different flavors, and again, let's say, to buy something. So it's like some kind of the history. So next, move on to the next one. So the next one is Icos Dacia. So Icos Dacia, probably you don't know yet, or maybe you already aware that in 2027 the first Icos hotel will be open in Hania area of Crete. So let's keep our fingers crossed. So we will be, let's say, granted by possibility to sell Icos Dacia in Crete as well. So Icos Dacia ultra all-inclusive program. So it's a special philosophy. For me, Icos is the single, or maybe it's the first, I would say, it's the first hotel chain which pulled, let's say, which height all-inclusive program to the VIP class, because before all-inclusive program was implemented and was used only for 4-star hotels or 4-5-star hotels, let's say the middle class, but not for the VIPs. So it means that Icos Dacia ultra all-inclusive Icos hotels, which definitely created the all-inclusive program and let's say had it to VIP level. So Icos Dacia, it's a great 1 kilometer length, no, 600 meters, not to be mistaken, 600 meters length of the sandy beach, main buildings, a lot of bungalows and villas. It's no needs to describe how many pools, private or let's say and common pools they have, what a sport, let's say, and kids infrastructure they have. Let's say, the style of minimalism. You see very simple forms, again, very light colors, which they use in design of the exterior. A lot of a la carte restaurant, probably, if I'm not mistaken, up to 10, up to 12, something like that. A lot of bars, which are included, let's say, in this program, ultra all-inclusive program. What else? Above, let's say, the common entertainment program for the kids, they have the football academy. They have the program Dine Out. Dine Out, it's not only dine around, it means two outside outlets, restaurant are included in this ultra all-inclusive program. So it means our guests can leave their area, the territory of the hotel, and visit outside restaurants. So definitely the farm with possibility to let's say to see how the herbs, fruits, vegetables are growing, to take care of them. So it's, as for me, it's interesting for the all ages, not only for the kids. And for sure, absolutely, let's say, a remarkable and bright animation program, which will, let's say, we can compare with the musicals, because definitely it's very high entertainment level. So the next one, Marbella Corfu. Probably Marbella Corfu, one of the most, let's say, close to the, let's say, most of the money expectations 5-star hotels. Marbella Corfu initially was opened like the one hotel, then they opened the Marbella Nido it's which you see, and this season they have opened the third one, Marbella Avalli Hotel. All of them work on all-inclusive basis with a different room types. They have the natural beach, which, let's say, some combination between the pebbles and the sandy. They have artificial deck, which was added several years ago. From the first look, it seems that it's quite crowded. But if, for example, you are there at the hotel, so you always can find possibility to find the corner for the privacy. And again, it seems that for the first perception that it's a lot of marble, because definitely it's the main material which they used for the construction is a marble. But however, there are, let's say, it's a false perception. There are a lot of greenery on the area. So we have, let's say, again a lot of pools. We have again a lot of, let's say, very well developed infrastructure for the kids, sport facilities, and so on. So the biggest library which I have seen wherever. So it was in the Marbella Corfu. So it's some combination. So, and yes, definitely, I was about to skip this important information. They have added water slides. So it means like it's Marbella Empire, which consists of 3 different hotels with a different demands, which definitely can meet all demands and all needs. Marbella Corfu, among the 5 stars hotels which we already visited during our journey, probably it's has the most, let's say, the most democratic, affordable rates. So that's why Marbella Corfu always start to be kicked out from the sales, one of the first. So please be, let's say, fast, let's say, together with the guests, with the clients. Almiros Beach. Almiros Beach, it is northern part of Corfu Island, with main building which hosts a reception, main restaurant, and part of let's say rooms, and mainly it consists of the cottages, 2 stores. Hotels has a water park, sandy beach, very long, with a great shallow entrance to the sea, with water park. So for your information, hotel provides breakfast, harbor, and all-inclusive. Only for the all-inclusive guest sunbeds and umbrellas on the beach will be provided free of charge. Animation program, kids club, and so on. Since, let's say, hotel has a lot of advantages, like a great location, a great sandy beach, let's say, quite democratic rates policy, affordable, let's say, combination value for the money, infrastructure for the kids' sport activities, definitely you should pay attention for the hotel as well. So, and definitely, for sure, quite green. So, and we have in, let's say, at the end, some, let's say, several 4-star hotels, which I have included in purpose, because for me as well, it's some kind of masterpieces, a great location, a great service with a high score, a very high rating everywhere. So Delphinia Hotel, 4 stars, all inclusive, on the first line, harbor. Moraitica, the east part, with a great shallow entrance to the sea, very well kept hotel with a classical exterior and interior and in the design, with, let's say, light colors, with outlets, food and beverage above the main restaurant. Sunbeds and umbrellas on the beach will be against of the payment with the extra charge. And let's say outdoor swimming pool. So Delphinia, for me, it's absolutely impeccable, spotless, 4 stars hotel, all inclusive, which, let's say, close to the heart of Maraitica infrastructure, because Maraitica, let's say, has it's not, let's say, abundant, or let's say absolutely not a structured resort. No, it's, let's say, close to the not crowded, but let's say well-developed resort. So Aeolus Beach, all-inclusive against of Dolphinia. It's across the road. It's again, like we already seen today, two hotels which, let's say, built in the amphitheatrical style. So it means like amphitheater. It's built by the levels, a lot of different room types, a lot of different pools, quite narrow combination between sandy and pebble beach. In the middle of the hotel several years ago, they built the Agora. Agora, it means like, it's like a palazzo, like a square, but this Agora, it's in Greek language. You remember the Athenian Agora. So it's like a heart of this Aeolus village, because as soon hotel builds Agora, it means they try to convert or transfer the perception, or to give extra melody note to the property, that the guests should perceive it like the village. So it gives extra understanding of the hotel itself. So in the middle of the hotel, they built Agora. Agora, it takes, if I'm not mistaken, 8,000 square meters with the open amphitheater, with endless outlets like gelaterie, pizzeria, corner, like, oh my God, like gelaterie, pizzeria, sushi bar, and so on. So it means like as soon our guests come to the Agora, they have a lot of temptations. They can, let's say, they can order the pizza, they can take gelaterie, they can take, let's say, some sweet, and so on. At the same time, a lot of bars. So it means they come on the square and they spend the time among the people. So ideology is like that. Well, so it's the interior, again, a lot of different room types, which, let's say, and let's say the almost the last one, the Mythos Maisongi Beach. Probably you remember that the Maisongi Beach was independent hotel, but last year's Mythos, let's say, possessed Maisongi Beach, and definitely as soon Mythos, let's say, host some hotel and invite them in the Mythos family, the hotels immediately start to, let's say, to influence, and to describe and to propose some unique points which belong to only to Mythos hotels. What I mean? I mean that, for example, Mythos hotels always pay special and I would say very tremendous attention to three, for them, mile points, like quality of the meals and the variety of the meals, then the entertainment and for the kids and the sport activities. So about the meals, so about the main restaurant. So look on the slide, I will describe you, and let's say the scroll. It's a great Mrs. Maisongi has 950 rooms. Can you imagine, with the sandy beach? Some definitely some beds and umbrellas free of charge. So it's not the main building; it's main building, but at the same time a bungalow style, with a lot of outlets, food and beverage. Above, let's say, the classical a la carte restaurant, which are included in all-inclusive program of Mythos, they have gelaterie, they have pizza corner, they have sushi bar. So some of them are healthy, some of them are definitely not. But so it means they would like to meet the request and demands, the needs, the all of guests. What else? They try to come to balance it with vegetarian and with the vegan menu. So it means that MITSES always try to follow the last tendencies, and the vegetarians and the vegan, let's say, adepts, they will find the, let's say, a lot of varieties of the meal for their needs as well. It's not, it doesn't have always in each hotel. So definitely the sport activities, water slides. So it's quite interesting, let's say, for the family oriented guests, sports activities, and so on, so on, so on. Yes, and MITS definitely, they have the creche and the Montessori school which implemented, and so a numerous number of different room types. So Mrs. Mezonki. And the last one, Mare Blue Beach, which is nestled in the northern part of the island. It's, let's say, not so, let's say, gigantic like Mrs. Mezongi is, but you see, it's a beloved hotel among a lot of guests who already visited the Corfu island. So it's a main building. It's again the cottage style. Each cottage has its own name, mainly devoted to the 12, let's say, ancient gods. Great, very high level, and the, let's services, and let's say the level of the gastronomy. I mean, the service, the gastronomy. Very spacious rooms in the minimalist and the classical style. Sunbeds and umbrellas, even with the all-inclusive meal type, will be extra charge. So I would say that Mare Blue is, let's say, very green and some kind of the paradise on the northern part of let's say, of the island. My let's say, beloved participants and listeners, recipients, thank you so much for your time. I definitely tried my best to share my knowledge and my life to Corfu Island with you. I finalize, let's say, the story, and I give the word, I give possibility to, let's say, to share information about the flight program and all agency, let's say, the system with my colleague Daria. Thank you so much.
Hello, colleagues. I will be very fast. I will try not to waste a lot of time. I know that you're brave. You listened all our webinar. Evgenia, I will ask you to close your presentation. No, like stop sharing it. Can I just ask you fast, write in the chat, do you see my presentation? And I will continue. Thank you. Colleagues, my name is Daria Romanchuka. I am a sales manager from Latvia. I will be very fast. Just will define one more time our flight program, payment conditions, cancellation conditions, and early booking conditions, and about guide in the pocket. Just fast. Of course, probably you know all this information, just for kind reminder from us. Our flight program. This year we are flying with 2 air companies from Vilnius and Tallinn. It will be SkyUp Airlines. Yes, as usual, we have 23 kilogram luggage and plus our hand luggage. And from Riga, it will be Air Baltic, also 23 kilograms luggage, also included in the program. What is most important, we are paying your attention that from Vilnius we're flying in May, June, and also in autumn. From Tallinn we're flying only in autumn, and from Riga we have flights only May and June. Just we are paying your attention. You're welcome to have bookings from all 3 countries. Our payment and cancellation conditions, just also reminding to you all that we have changed our prepayment amount to 20% since 1st of October. And for Corfu, we also have prepayment 20% and the rest payment is 22 days before departure from the clients. It's all defined in the agreement. Just we are paying your attention to that one more time, that from clients we are receiving payment 21 day before departure, and to us you're paying 10 days before departure. Also, we have for early bookings, during early booking period, we have Sweet as Honey program as usual +2. When the early booking will be ended, it will be only +1. We also have changed this program since 1st of October. Early booking, right now we have the second stage till 31st of December. It will be probably prolonged, but as a reminder for the clients and to you, that you have a possibility to make changes once for free, yes, without any extra charge to change hotel, date, room type, or duration. Also, it's possible to change a traveler, but we are paying your attention that it could be done also more than 21 days before departure. And of course, our amazing helper in all problems, which we could face tourists on the spot. All tourists and documents and voucher have a QR code. You also have you can just Google Guide in the Pocket, will join up, and you will find also a link where the clients can access our colleagues from Lithuania, Latvia, or Estonia. We have 2 people in every country who is working from 9 till 9 every day, Sundays, Saturdays also. Yes, clients, for your easy, for your easier life, not to have all this long chain of people, just very easy. Clients can contact with us right away when they are on the spot in Egypt, in Corfu, wherever they can be. They can contact and we will help to solve any of their problems which they have. Our contacts, as usual, kind reminder that if you have booking to contact with reservation department, you can straight in the booking, writing a message in the system. Also, kind reminder that the reservation department also works on Saturday from 10 till 3. And also, we'll have a newsletter today. We have announced that sales department will not anymore work on Saturdays. Only reservation department will continue working on Saturdays. You still can write messages and have some questions and solve them. Kindly asking you to have in the mind that you can contact sales department colleagues in Latvia, me and Richards, in Estonia, Angelica and Madeline, in Lithuania, Vaida and Daria. They also have their common email, pardavimai@joinup.lt. And kind reminder for that out of our working hours, for example, out of working hours, it means during working days after 6 and Saturdays after 3. If you have any SOS situation, something urgent, you can contact with our Ukrainian colleagues, which number you see. It could be possible in Viber and WhatsApp. Only to write, you can write in English and Russian, and also to check some important information what is, but also just remember that they are helping with the nearest flights which you will have in nearest two days. And also our for group applications, you can freely contact our MICE department, MICE Baltic at joinup.lv. Here is our Facebook group, so you can scan the QR code and you're welcome to join. We are trying to post very important information, just to be on the way for what we have right now, some updates. You're welcome, and thank you so much that you spent today time with us with our webinar. Thank you, Evgenia, one more time. You gave us very detailed, important information about Corfu, and dear colleagues, we are waiting from you sales for Corfu. Have a nice day, and thank you so much. Maybe if you have some